Week 9 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I'd look to buy and trade for here. This week, the first guy, Chris Bassitt of the New York Mets. So the Mets got Bassitt in the offseason in a nice little deal here. And Bassitt, he's been a solid starter over the last few years with the Oakland Athletics, and even early in the season with the Mets, he got off to a good start, but now on the season, 68 and a third. 4-4 record, 62 hits, 33 earned runs, 23 walks, 74 strikeouts, 6 quality starts, but a 4.35 ERA and a 1.24 whip. So this Met pitching staff, a lot of these guys got off to amazing hot starts early in the season, but now they've been hit hard a couple times around the rotation the last few outings here. So Bassitt, he's been a guy going 6 innings, usually at his best with this Met team. But right now, with tougher competition, it's been a little tougher here for Bassitt over the last few outings. May 29th versus Philly, 6 innings in that one, no decision, 2 hits, a run, 3 walks, 7 Ks. Quality start. June 3rd at the Dodgers, 6 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks, a quality start. And then last night, June 8th at the Padres, he got ripped, 3 1/3, got the loss, 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. So right here, the Mets, their schedule's been tough over the last week here, but things are going to dimmer down a little now with the Angels coming up who lost 13 in a row. Then they got Milwaukee who's been decent, and then the Miami Marlins. So right here, the schedule gets easier. And Bassitt, we've seen this with him where he'll have one horrible start and then 2 decent starts to follow up with it. But right now with his ERA in the mid-4s, he's a guy we'll go out there and get because, like I mentioned, the schedule is going to get easier for the Mets. And I think he'll be back to what he was doing early in the season. The next guy is Kevin Gausman of the Toronto Blue Jays. So Gausman, he's having a good year, but the last couple weeks, he's hit the wall a little bit. 64 2/3, 5-4 record, 68 hits, 20 earned runs, 7 walks, 73 strikeouts, 6 quality starts, a 2.78 ERA, and a 1.16 whip. So right there, great numbers. But over the last couple weeks here, that ERA's ballooned up to a 6.23. So Gausman, his control is impeccable. Only 7 walks in 64 2/3 on the season here. But he does play in a tough division, obviously, with good hitting teams like the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, and the Tampa Bay Rays could hit the ball as well a little bit. The last few outings here for Gausman, May 24th at the Cardinals, 6 innings, got the win, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks, a quality start. May 31st versus the White Sox, 5 innings, got the win, 6 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 5 Ks. And then June 5th versus Minnesota, 3 2/3, he got ripped, got the loss, 9 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 3 Ks. So right here, Gausman, his price still might be high, obviously, with his overall numbers being great this season. But everything else the last couple weeks here, he's been mediocre at best as Gausman, especially with the Twins hitting him hard on June 5th. But right now, June 11th, he's got a good matchup in Saturday's ball game at the Detroit Tigers here is Kevin Gausman. And he definitely could go out there and throw a gem versus a Tiger team that's pretty weak offensively. But right now, while he's been struggling over the last few starts here, his value's definitely dropped a little bit, but I think he could get back right on track, even though, like I mentioned, he's in a tough division in the AL East. But I definitely would go out there and try to get Gausman, and maybe this week you could get him on a bit of a discount. The next guy, Robby Ray, the former Toronto Blue Jay and Cy Young winner last season, now on the Seattle Mariners, obviously. So on the season here for Ray, it hasn't been a good one with his new team. 70 2/3, 5-6 record, 66 hits, 39 earned runs, 27 walks, 77 strikeouts, only 4 quality starts, 4.97 ERA, and a 1.32 whip. So right here, it don't make any sense to me. Ray goes to an easier division in terms of teams with bats after pitching in the tough AL East last season here. His strikeouts are down, even though he's getting more than 1 per inning is Robby Ray. But he's just a little bit off. He's been getting hurt with the walk. The walks have definitely hurt him, and the long ball as well has been a problem here for Ray. And over the last few outings, he's had 2 pretty good matchups, but hasn't did well at all. May 25th versus Oakland, 6 innings, got the loss, 7 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 10 Ks, a quality start. June 1st at Baltimore, 5 innings, got the loss in that one, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks. And June 6th at Houston, 5 innings, got the win, 8 hits though, 3 runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. So right here, the walks have definitely been an issue with 7 walks in his last 3 outings. His strikeouts, he's always going to have 1 or more per inning. No doubt about it, is Robby Ray. And the thing is, he's still going deep into games, but the ERA is up there. Seattle isn't the greatest of teams to give Robby Ray run support, but last season, like I mentioned, he won the Cy Young in a way tougher division. And this year, the change of scenery might have not helped Ray, or maybe he was a one-season wonder last year with the Cy Young type of season, but right here, the ERA is almost at a 5. But he's still a guy that I think could be quality in your rotation. He'll help you in strikeouts. He'll still go pretty deep into games, 6 or 7 innings. And this guy's definitely a competitor, so maybe right now he's struggling, but could turn things around a little as the months go on here towards the end of the season. But right now, you definitely could get him on a discount. And we know he has upside, winning the Cy Young this last season with the Toronto Blue Jays. So Robby Ray right now, not the greatest numbers, obviously, but I think he could turn things around here and be a buy low candidate. The next guy's Walker Bueller of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So Walker Bueller, out of the gate, he got off to a good start, but the last few weeks to a month here, he's been horrible on the season. 61 innings, 6-2 record, a complete game with a shutout under his belt, 63 hits, 26 earned runs, 17 walks, only 52 strikeouts, only 3 quality starts, 3.84 ERA, and a 1.31 whip. But over the last month here, his ERA's been a 6.66. So right here, Walker Bueller, you would think he'd be amazing, obviously, on this Dodger team. That's one of the best teams in the league, no doubt about it, and has the best offense, I think, in the league all around. But Walker Bueller, he just hasn't been the same over the last month of the season. He's going short into games. He's not going deep. Only 3 quality starts on the season's a problem, and his strikeouts are low as well for him, not even averaging 1 per inning. So May 24th at Washington, 6 innings, got the win, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a quality start. May 30th versus Pittsburgh, only 6 innings in that one, no decision, 7 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks. And then June 4th versus the Mets, he was horrible in that one, only 2 1/3, got the loss, 5 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and they got off to a 4-1 start in that one. So Bueller, maybe it's just fatigue, or he's just not hitting his location right now. Even though I don't know why he would be fatigued this early in the season, but I'm just wondering why his numbers have been way off, and he's not going deep into games with only 1 quality start for Walker Bueller since April 25th, so that's a bad sign. And he's got a pretty tough matchup tomorrow versus the San Francisco Giants in San Francisco, so hopefully he could turn things around. But this guy's too talented of a pitcher. He's still a young guy, and I don't think in a season he's going to lose it. So right now, while he's been struggling, it's a perfect time to pounce and buy him low before he goes on a good run here, because once this Dodger team kicks it in all gears, no one's going to stop them, and they're going to win probably 7 out of every 10 ball games here, especially if Walker Bueller gets going. So right now, he's a perfect buy low candidate. And why wouldn't you want a guy with the talent of Bueller on your team? And obviously with an offense that's going to back him once they get things going. And the 5th and final guys, Raciel Iglesias of the Los Angeles Angels. So Iglesias on one of the worst teams in the league now over the last month of the season here, losing 13 in a row is this Angel team. But right here, he's been a solid closer in his career. 19 1/3 on the season, 1-4 record, 16 hits, 10 runs, 4 walks, 26 Ks, 2 blown saves, and over on the season a 4.66 ERA and a 1.03 whip. So right here, this team hasn't won in the last 2 weeks, obviously. Team. And I don't know when they're going to win a ball game here. They got Boston coming up today for 1 more game, and then the New York Mets for 3. So Iglesias here, last few outings for him in relief. June 5th at Philly, 1 1/3, got the loss, 3 hits, 3 runs, and a strikeout, blowing that ball game and losing on a Stotts walk-off homer. And then June 7th versus Boston, 1 inning, a hit, okay, in that one. So right here, with his team struggling, him with 4 losses on the season and an ERA almost at a 5, it's a perfect time to buy him low, because this Angel team, they do have a lot of talent. I know a few guys banged up like Mike Trout and Taylor Ward, but this team here, they're due to get a couple victories on the red belt after losing for 2 weeks straight here. And if you need a closer, you could give up a mediocre hitter that's on your bench, or even a starter at the back end of your rotation for Iglesias, because this guy's got good stuff. I think he's going to turn things around. And right now, while he's down in the dumps, his value, it's a perfect time to get him. So that's a few pitches I look to buy and trade for Week 9 of the fantasy baseball season.